Hello there, this is Janet Salmers, and I work at Sewingly Yours in Louisville, North Carolina. We're right outside of Winston-Salem, and we sell Baby Lock and Husqvarna Viking sewing machines and Baby Lock Sergers and sewing machines. And I have attended a Baby Lock workshop this week for 3 days and wanted to start filming some short videos on different things that we've learned. So I'm going to start with the 4-thread overlock setup. One of the great things about Baby Lock is they have a lot of training, more so than any of the other Bernina or POF or FAF or however you pronounce that. Any of the other brands that I've had or worked with or whatever, but they have a lot of free training for the retailers and the salespeople that work there. They also have certifications, and I have finished my foundation certification in Sergers, and with taking this workshop, I will have also finished my expert level certification in Sergers. So I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to do some videos, and what I'm going to start with today is a basic 4-thread overlock. I wanted to go through some very quick tips how to thread it and just give you some quick tips. And I'm using the Triumph, and there is let me show you this. There is a quick reference threading guide that all of the Baby Lock Sergers come with. So I'm doing the 4-thread overlock, which is on here somewhere. 4-thread overlock, which is right here. So I will be doing all of these things. I'll have both needles in, the 01, 02 needle. I'll be setting up the length around 2.5. The width is going to be probably 7, somewhere in that neighborhood. Stitch selector A, the wave selector is overlock, no chain needle, chain looper. The upper looper selector is up, blade position is going to be up. I'm using the knife cover and not using the subsidiary looper. So it'll be threaded like this. Okay, we're going to get started with that. First thing you'll notice up here is there's a thread guide, and it also has little brushes on it. They're all labeled. So there's 01, 02, UL is my upper looper, and then you can't see it, but this is my lower looper. So you're running the thread through each one of those thread guides. You're bringing it down, and I know you can't see it, but there's a tension guide here in the back, and I'm going to be quiet, and you're going to hear it snap in. So you want that to snap in, each one of these to snap in. I'm just laying it through here. You can hear it snap. You can hear that snap, and this is the final one. You can hear that snap. I'm using 4 different colors, so I'll show you on the stitch. It makes it easier to see and understand where each thread is coming from and where it's going. So let me lower this. You need to make sure that my presser foot lifter is right here. It needs to be open. You want those tension. It needs to be up or open. You need those tension guides up. So I'm bringing the thread down. It's going under this little piece right there. I'm pulling the thread down to my thigh, which gives me enough to work with. First thing, I already had this down, but you need to put it into threading mode. So we're going to snap that down, and it was already in threading mode. So let me do this. So let me do this again. And I'm going to move this. What I want you to see is once I put it in threading mode, if you'll watch in here, you'll see these tubes come together. There's 2 sets of tubes. So it's in thread. I'm going to put it in threading mode. I'm going to roll the hand wheel back towards me and just watch all the mechanics move, and then you'll see those tubes. And I don't know if you could see them, but there's tubes now, these 2 tubes. And that's where the air blows through and the thread blows through. And that's what makes it the revolution air threading, to where that the the air blows that through, and you don't have to worry about which order you thread these in or anything. You can do whatever order. I generally go right to left if I'm rethreading everything. So I've pulled this thread down to my thigh, and I'm putting it in the L. And you push about an inch in. And if you will watch over on this side, it's going to come out right here where my finger's at. So I'm going to push this, make sure everything's done. Yeah. And see, it came out right there. So I'm just going to pull it to the back. I'm going to do the same thing with the upper loop. I pull it down to my thigh. And it's going to come up right here where my finger is, right there beside of the needle. So I'm going to hit the button, and there it came out. So I'm just going to push all of that back. Okay, I'm going to move us again. And we also have Revolutionaire threading on the needles. It has to be in threading mode, which it is still. And I'm going to try to sit this so I can see what's going on with the camera too. So there's a lever right here. I'm going to push it down, and it brings this little yellow piece. You can see where my needles are. Sorry, I'm moving this back to where you can sort of see what's going on here. This time I'm going to just bring that under the little thread guide. I'm going to bring it across. It goes here, under this thread guide, around and down. There's another guide behind the needle that it has to, or behind the needle basically, that it has to go to. It's a little horizontal guide that it has to slide through right there. And since I have different color thread, I can tell which is my right needle and which is my left needle. So I'm doing the same thing with the left, or the 01 needle. You know how hard it is to thread with a camera in front of you. Okay, so now what we have to do here, my 01 needle is my blue. And you have to hold it, well, what they tell you to do, what Baby Lock tells you to do is cut off the thread even with the front of the machine right here. And that's all the length that you really need to be able to do this. Separate out your threads. So the orange is my 02, the blue is my, and that happens. Okay, here we go. So what I'm going to do is just hold this very loosely in front of that needle. And I'm doing this left-handed because of the camera, so I may have to try it a couple of times. Up here at the top, just make sure it's in overlock, because that's what we're getting ready to do. And then I'm going to push this button. So I'm going to move the camera maybe so. Okay, I'm going to use these tweezers and maybe this will work. I might have to try this a couple of shots because it's hard to do with the camera in front of you. So I bet you could see it suck in right there. It sucked it right in. So I'm going to take the same thing and do it. Put this in front of the 02 needle. And it also helps to cut off this little bit on the end. Sometimes there was a little, like a little knob thing there, so cut that off. I'm going to do the same thing over here. And it sucked it in too. So, and you will have to adjust these going back under this thread guide right here. It just likes to pop out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise this. And if you see those two threads, they've been threaded, they're coming out the back. And so I'm just going to grab them with my tweezers. I love tweezers with the serger. And just pull those straight back and under the foot. And basically, that's all there is to it. So I'm going to take this part up. I'm going to put this drawer up. I'm going to put this drawer up. And I'm going to move you a little bit again. So maybe you can see what I'm getting ready to do. I hope. And I'm going to make sure that I have a stitch. So I'm just going to put my foot down. And if you can see it, it is forming a stitch. So I'm going to test it. I have a little piece of just scrap stuff here. So I'm just going to test it and make sure that it's running. It is running a stitch, and it's looking pretty good if I paid attention to it. We'll look at it closer on the other, but I just wanted to make sure it's forming a stitch. Okay, first thing we're going to look at is you can do seaming on your 4-thread overlock, but the great thing about the baby lock is it has no tension knobs, and the way that you make sure that everything is adjusted, on the right hand side there's a stitch selector, and I didn't show you that, but there's an A, B, C, D there, and for the 4-thread overlock we want it on the A. And so I'm going to run some fabric through and show you what it does. Most machines, if you have different fabric and different thread, you have to adjust the tension. With this, setting it in A, the machine reads the thread thickness and it reads the fabric thickness, and it adjusts it the way it's supposed to be for the best stitch. So this is just a plain piece of quilting cotton, just regular quilting cotton. So I'm going to run that through. I'm going to switch over to a piece of really lightweight fabric. It's sort of like a silky kind of scarfy kind of thing. And I'm just going to fold it over and I'm going to run it through right behind it. I'm not making any adjustments whatsoever. I have a piece of denim, and I'm going to run it through on the edge. And then I'm going to fold it up so you'll have two. Well, let's see. Let's do it this way. Hang on. Okay, I'm folding it over so you have two pieces of denim. And then I'm going to fold it up so now there's 4 pieces of denim. And now I have a piece of lycra. This is like bathing suit fabric. I have made no adjustments, no anything. I'm just running it through. Now, let's see if I can turn this around just a little bit so I can show you what we have here. So this is the cotton. And the blue is an O2. The orange, O1, which is your left needle. The orange is an O2, which is your right needle. The yellow is the upper looper. So you see the yellow thread, here's the upper looper. And then on the back, the pink is the bottom looper. So this is called your 4-thread overlock. And this video is running a whole lot longer than I meant for it to run, but I may stop it and then start back up. This is the thin weight. Same thing here. You can see the stitch, and that's the one on the back. The pink is the lower looper, the yellow is the upper looper, the blue is the left needle, and the orange is the right needle. Here is the denim, 2 layers of denim. Went right on over to 4 layers of denim. No problems. And then this is the lycra, and I will tell you that I had a hard time holding the lycra together. so this is more user error than machine error, but you can see again the stitches actually look really good. So, okay, I'm going to stop this video and I'll start up another one. This is much longer than I wanted it to be, but I'll start up a second one and post both of them together. Until next time, happy sewing.